So after discussing the possibilities of whether Twilight Sparkle or the Royal Sisters might have brief appearances in the Generation 5 movie or TV series, naturally there were a lot of you wondering about the remaining Alicorns, Princess Cadance and Princess Flurry Heart. And to be honest, at first I wasn't quite sure what sort of possibilities these two could add for the next My Little Pony series. Cadance certainly had many appearances throughout G4, but I kept getting the sense that the writers weren't allowed to give her any character flaws for her to work through. So while she did have a defined personality, Cadance just wasn't as interesting as Twilight or the Royal Sisters, at least for me. So I don't really know what the MLP staff could do with her character if she did end up making an appearance in G5. Flurry Heart, however, is much more of a blank slate. She was introduced into Friendship is Magic to be cute and adorable, with the occasional mischievous streak in the midst of her good intentions. But being a toddler at the time of G4, there are many potential directions the MLP staff could take with Flurry Heart as an adult. Now, just like with Twilight, Discord, the Royal Sisters, and Spike, there's no way for us to know at this time whether they'll take part in Generation 5. However, given that G5 is meant to expand upon the world of G4, it would make sense to include even just a few of the Friendship is Magic characters for even just the occasional cameo. And we must remember that unlike Twilight or Cadance, Flurry Heart is a natural-born Alicorn. Neither Celestia nor Luna could explain why, but one could argue that little Flurry here might just have as long of a lifespan as they do. So, if Flurry Heart was still around during the time of G5, I would imagine that she'd likely be protecting the Crystal City. But given that the pony races are acting with paranoia and mistrust towards one another, then one could assume that the Crystal City is now all on its own, without interaction from any of the other pony cities within Equestria. If that should happen, how would a grown-up Flurry Heart respond? Would she become overprotective of her subjects, and more specifically the Crystal Heart? I imagine that should anything happen to keep the heart from functioning, then the snows would overwhelm the city just as it did back in the beginning of Season 6 of Friendship is Magic. And if there were no outside help, would the Crystal City be able to sustain itself? How would Flurry Heart act in these circumstances? Would she too turn away from friendship, feeling so isolated without her family? Shunning the likes of Sunny and the rest of the main five when they first try to reach out to her? Or maybe she might see the oncoming disaster encroaching on the Crystal City and seek to put the city in hibernation again in order to save its inhabitants. I mean, could you imagine a solitary Flurry Heart doing her utmost to keep the snows at bay, hoping that one day there might be ponies who would seek to rescue the city once again? I could see many potential story angles that would both explain why Flurry Heart hadn't tried saving Ponykind from splitting into factions, and why even Sunny herself might not know of Flurry's existence in the modern world. But who knows? At this point, it's still all speculation based on the very limited information we've been given. Though I do enjoy discussing possibilities. What do each of you think, though? Given the options for both Cadance and Flurry Heart, would you wish either or both of them to make even just a brief return in MLP G5? And if so, what sort of story do you believe would work best for their characters? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, because as always, I am Dr. Wolf, and I look forward to hearing from you.